Against the backdrop of a struggling first-year league, South Georgia Peanuts manager Wally Backman had challenged the validity of the league's drug testing program. Within 24 hours, Backman was out as Peanuts manager. Officially, he had resigned, but the players and the coaches didn't see it that way.
They say he's stepping down. Stepping down. You know, stepping down is basically they want him out, but they're just going to make it look like he's wanting to do it more than the league's wanting to do it to him, you know, which is a bunch of bullshit, honestly.
I think he was forced to resign. I don't think Wally Backman's going to quit. I don't think Wally Backman would quit anything ever.
The way I see it, he was forced to resign. Either that or be fired.
He got fired over this thing where, you know, he could have just given in and said, you know, whatever, we'll just bite the bullet as a team on this. But, you know, Wally, like I said, did what he thought was right.
If they don't want you to stand up for your players, then you need to find another job, not the manager.
He got fired for sticking up for his players. He might have gone about it in the wrong way or whatever, but he's sticking up for his players, and what more do you want as a player?
The league kind of, you know, used Wally to project and, you know, exploit a little bit about the South Coast League. And the fact of the matter is that 3 other managers in this league have been thrown out more times than Wally has been thrown out of ball games this year, and it's almost nothing is said about it. Wally, I think, has been thrown out 4 times this year, and 2 of the managers have been thrown out 8 and 9 times. So, like I said, you know, you don't hear anything about that.
The night before he left Georgia, Backman snuck into the stadium to watch his team from the press box.
We hung Wally's jersey up in the dugout, and we knew that would kind of piss Jamie Toole off.
The Peanuts won the game. Meanwhile, Joey Hooft was still playing while he appealed the results of his drug test.
The only category that I fell under that I could appeal is how the test was administered, which they totally botched.
Based on Hooft, it was because he actually went out and got several, I think he got his own drug test, and he had worked with Chris Allen, our chief operating officer.
I was informed that I had to pay $100 just to appeal it, so I went to write the check.
Hooft was allowed to play while he awaited the results of his second test.
I got a phone call from Chris Allen and said my sample was too diluted, too watered down.
There was a little bit of gray area, and there were some issues with regard to diluted samples.
I mean, it was a nice phone call. He said, you know, Joey, I understand this is frustrating. He said, we just need a negative test from you. We'll reinstate you. We'll come out with a press release.
While he waited for the results of his third test, Hooft was forced to sit out once again.
2 days later, they told me, my test was fine. It was negative, and obviously I didn't test positive for anything. By the way, you're still suspended 4 games.
So he tested 3 times, but they say, you know what, you still have 4 games of your suspension, just served 4 games. So they made him sit out after testing negative, and then they cleared his name, but they still made him sit out, which, if you're negative, you should play.
So I said, why do I still have to sit out 4 games? And his response was, well, because you failed 2 drug tests.
And looking back on the whole situation, we can take a little bit, be at fault a little bit for some confusion and maybe some inconsistencies with the way that the drug testing policy was implemented.
And he just told me, Joey, 1 out of 3 may be good on the baseball field, but it's not good with drug tests. And that just kind of blew my mind. I mean, that just kind of put the whole situation in a nutshell, how ridiculous this really is.
I still wish the South Coast League the best, but they've got to make a lot of changes.
I'm going to hire him back as the bench coach, whether it pissed the league off or not.
Former South Georgia Peanuts manager Wally Backman was clearing out his office and getting ready to head home. His managerial comeback was in shambles, and his future as a professional manager was in doubt.
They were trying to get to me, I think, for more publicity, which they ended up getting. The whole situation was handled basically like a circus. They don't understand what they're doing to players' careers, and to me it was so wrong. I still wish the South Coast League the best, but they've got to make a lot of changes, and there's a lot of people who put a lot of money into that league that doesn't really know what's happening.
While Backman prepared to leave town, new manager Larry Ohlenberger was working on a plan.
My head started spinning. I said, I got to figure out some way to get him back here. And I just had a thought of saying, well, I'm going to hire him back as the bench coach or hitting coach or whatever, you know, just to kind of get him back in here, whether it piss the league off or not, and, you know, just see what happens. I'll be the one that interacts with the umpires and, you know, makes those decisions or whatever, but I need, you know, that extra in the, for obvious reasons with the team, in the clubhouse, you know, the solidarity of you being here, you know, regardless of, you know, whatever title may or may not be. Can you hang on for an hour?
Yeah.
Do you want to hang on for an hour? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to think this one over.
Okay.
Well, let's wait till he calls and then.
Okay.
All right. And let me know.
All of our coaches on the bench, you know, they want to manage, and when Wally stepped out, you know, the biggest thing would have been for Larry to manage, which is great for him because that's, you know, basically a promotion. But at the same time, he's not going to go ahead and just, you know, kick Wally out because he's a stand-up guy as well. So that's why he did the, you know, I'm going to bring Wally back and make him my bench coach, which is like, and the league's like, oh shit, what's going to happen now, you know?
Wally Backman is back. The former South Georgia Peanuts manager has returned just 3 days after parting ways with the Peanuts and the South Coast League.
The South Coast League takes pride in being seen as a league for second chances. From the players to the managers to the front office personnel, we've all made mistakes and should be given the opportunity to make things right. Yesterday afternoon, we received a phone call from Wally, during which he expressed genuine regret and remorse with his separation from the South Coast League.
Out of the blue, he extended a phone call, and I picked up the telephone, you know, at that time, not really knowing what to expect. But what I found was a guy that was just, you know, he was real direct, and, you know, I want to use the term remorseful. I think he regretted the things that had happened.
It's unfortunate, you know, when you kind of know what actually did happen for the, you know, the steps that ended up with him coming back, that the league would still be so stubborn or prideful that they'd still go in front of all these cameras and say, Wally called us and apologized and we decided we're going to forgive him. It almost sounded like Wally begged us to come back and we decided we'd give him another chance.
I'm a big fan of quotes, and we were looking at quotes yesterday, and I was trying to come up with one that sort of described how we were feeling, and Kevin and I went through several different ones, and it was Alexander Pope, right, Kevin? And said, what was that quote, Kevin?
The air is human, to forgive divine.
Yeah, the air is human, to forgive is divine. And really, that's our deal.
The thing that Jamie kept saying was, you know, we still stand by our decision of 3 days ago. Well, if you still stand by your decision of 3 days ago, why are you taking it back? Obviously, you don't, or you wouldn't be having him come back to the team.
Over the course of the press conference, no mention was made of Larry Ohlenberger's role in the situation.
If anybody is going to get credit for Wally being back in Albany, it's Larry. He got the ball rolling, and he made the phone call, and he pushed for Wally to come back there. So if anybody gets credit that, you know, number 6 was back there, that's certainly Larry. There's no doubt.
So without further ado, and it is pretty exciting, the new and returning manager, Wally Backman.
Hey guys, just a few things that I'd like to say. You know, over the last few days, I had some time to think about the things that had happened, you know, the things that were said, the heat of the battle. I admit that I made some serious mistakes, the way that I went about some of the things.
I think that took a lot of courage on his behalf to maybe apologize to the league, say, okay, you know what, things got a little out of line. I apologize. I really think I could, you know, still be an influential part to this league. And I think that took a lot of courage out of him.
The ones that were going to get hurt, I felt the most, was going to be the players and the fans of Albany.
He cares about his players a hell of a lot. He knows those kids on a personal level, has been with those kids for a while and understands what they've been through and what they want to achieve at the next level. So I really think he cares about those kids a lot, more than the league, possibly.
You know what, I brought all those kids in here, and if there was a way to come back and finish it out with them, I felt responsible to be able to come back with these guys that I brought in here.
So they dropped one bag of laundry off.
Where's the uniforms?
We don't have it.
This is not all personal. Can't do that.
The next prank I'll be demonstrating is the hot seat, the meaner cousin of the hot foot. What you'll need is your tape, preferably a couple strips so it can get nice and hot, a lighter, and an aluminum folding chair. What you want to do is take the strips of tape and place them. As you can see, our chair already has several tape and smoke marks on it. It's been through a lot this year. It's a good chair. Take the tape, place it like so, firmly. You don't have to worry about many people knowing this is going on because you can set it up beforehand before you go out and perform the prank. After you get the tape on there, all you have to do is set it up and wait for your victim. Oh, shit.
With the end of the season approaching, it seemed like things were going wrong on a daily basis. On this day, the Peanuts were trying to find their uniforms just hours before a game in Aiken, South Carolina.
So they dropped one bag of laundry off. Had like half the guys' personals in there. Personals are socks, anywhere from socks, shirts, sliders, shorts. Anything that we wear underneath our jersey.
It actually kind of smells like soap a little bit. Personals? Unbelievable. That don't even look like all the personals.
Where's your uniforms?
We don't have it. This is not all personals. Can't do that.
Because the Peanuts weren't allowed to use the visitors' clubhouse at the stadium, manager Wally Backman worked the phones, trying to contact the Aiken front office.
Hey, this is Wally Backman. We do not have our uniforms or undergarments here. It's 4:25 right now. We weren't going to hit today, but we need to get dressed because we don't use that clubhouse. Somebody needs to call me on my cell or get our uniforms and stuff over here to the hotel as soon as they can. We can't leave the hotel until we get our stuff.
The uniforms eventually arrived, but they were still wet from being in the wash.
Ladies over a chair. I would.
Now working to make sure.
You gotta be kidding me, right? No, wearing it on.
Oh! Yeah, those would be fun to put on. Have a permanent swamp. Like mold.
Hey, it's $5 to go ring these out real quick.
Oh, that's piss. Oh my God.
Ring them out.
Piss poor.
That's nice, huh?
That might be the sweat from yesterday.
My jerseys, so let's go South Coast League.
The Peanuts got to the field with just enough time to dry their uniforms in the sun.
Three, two, one, go.
And for our next prank, Tug is going to be explaining the frozen underwear. Tug?
Thank you, Mike. Basically, for this prank, all you'll need is a pair of. Can we redo that? I got gum in my mouth. Basically, all you need for this prank is a pair of underwear and a bucket of water and a freezer. When you have acquired said underwear, all you need to make sure you do is that you fold them.
Great technique, Tug.
Thank you, Mike. Take your water cooler, preferably from the bench. Then everybody gets a taste of the prank. And then dunk them in the water, and when you take them out, make sure they're still folded and place them in the freezer. By the end of the game, you should have a frozen pair of underwear.
I'm so ready to put on some fresh underwear. What? Who the?
Since the Peanuts had cut their staff to save money, catcher Tug Gillingham had assumed the role of head groundskeeper to earn some extra cash.
This is good for me because it helps me get home, because we got $300 travel money to come down here, but we don't get any money to go back up to cover travel expenses.
Although he was making more money, Gillingham had seen a sharp decline in his playing time. He found himself spending most of his time in the bullpen.
It's always a party. In the bullpen, out of the bullpen, they flock together like they're a bunch of sorority sisters or something. They get dressed up in like funny clothes and go to the bars. They have theme nights at the bars. It sounds more of like a sorority type thing to me, you know.
Okay, the rules are, when I say go, grasp them, pound in the middle, throw them in your mouth, eat the seeds, put the shell in your hand so I can make sure there's no seeds in the shell.
You know, to tell you the truth, that's why I don't like to hang out down there, is because they get really far away from the game.
3, 2, 1, go.
They really do like to do everything together. No joke, they go shopping. They all went to the mall together. They're like, come on, we have to go to the mall. I'm like, what are you guys going to the mall for? They're like, Jay needs a new belt. And I was like, what? We're going to the mall so Jay can buy a new belt? Are you guys gonna help pick it out? And then they're like, lunch at Chili's afterwards. And I'm just sitting here going, ugh, just drop me off at the hotel so I can watch TV.
Done.
Mike. Wait, no, I'm not. One more.
Done. Mike's done.
No, you threw your seeds, you cocksucker.
Well, that doesn't count. You said done. You can't say done if you're not done. Say G.
You're disqualified.
Mike, you're disqualified. You threw your seeds at the opponent.
Cheaters. That's why I didn't want any cheating in this.
You did.
Yep. Thank you.
I win.
I didn't want any cheating involved.
Yeah, but I got all the seeds.
He just said I won, dude.
The season was coming to an end as the Peanuts prepared for the league championship series.
Damn, bugs are fucking terrible. Yeah.
Here's my pick to click. I didn't pick you, Doc. That's a duck fart. Go, Joey! God damn it, he dropped it. God, go! Fuck, he missed it!
I'll play, Joey!
Yeah, baby kid.
On the next, Playing for Peanuts. The regular season winds down as the Peanuts get ready for the playoffs, but not before the lights go out during a game.
Balls.
Meanwhile, manager Wally Backman is unhappy with the team's performance.
It's not easy to be a fucking champion. It's the hardest fucking thing there is to do. You're playing a fucking team that's gonna fucking kick the shit out of you if you don't work. You're not that fucking good.
If you don't work for it, you can't get it. If you work for it, you can beat them. But you got to work for it. If you don't work, you're throwing the whole fucking year away.
Visit playingforpeanuts.com to watch deleted scenes and to order the DVD of this show.
I'm in.